Chapter 2. Suki. A white tomcat gazed at a window inside of his home. He had blue-silver stripes and blue eyes. He was quite the worrywart, almost always worrying and doubting himself. This tomcat's name was Suki. Suki watched as a car drove by in the road. He had always been afraid of cars. They always made these loud noises that scared him. Suki slowly jumped off of a window and onto the couch. Sitting on the couch was his friend, Fizzy. She had spiky brown fur and green eyes. Suki padded towards her. He took in a deep breath and then mewed.
Fizzy?
His friend looked at him. Yes, she asked.
Do you think our owner would ever notice that I snuck out?
He asked. Well, she would if she were near us, but right now she's busy working, so no, answered Fizzy.
Okay,
Suki mewed as he nodded. Then looked up a window. He took in a shaky breath and nervously climbed up the couch. Before he could reach the window, Fizzy mewed, Let me guess, you want to prove that you're not a coward. Suki turned around, gulped, and nodded. Listen, Suki, you're not a coward. You're just a worrywart. Yeah, a worrywart, groaned Fizzy as he rolled onto her back. Suki looked down his paws sadly.
If only it was that, he thought.
He turned his attention back to the window.
I don't want to prove it to anyone. I want to prove it to myself. I've always doubted if I had any courage inside me. This could be a chance to reassure myself I'm not some coward by going outside and venturing, since I've never done that before, he explained while keeping his gaze on the window. He heard Fizzy sigh. Okay, I'll help you, he heard her mew. Fizzy padded past him and jumped onto the ledge that came at the down end of a window. She put her paws in it, and with a grunt she managed to open it midway. She panted and then looked at Suki. Go on, Fizzy mewed. Suki took in a deep, shaky breath and jumped onto the ledge of a window. Gathering up his courage, he jumped outside. Once he was out, Suki wondered for a moment if he was dreaming or not. But he wasn't. He was really outside. Suki looked up at Fizzy, who was looking down at him. Good luck, she mewed. Suki smiled a small smile. Although Fizzy was mostly grumpy, snarky, and lazy, she still cared about him and was a good friend of his. Suki then turned around and padded along the sidewalk. He looked around in amazement. The city was so much bigger outside than what it seemed like inside whenever he gazed out the window. Suki knew that he'd better be back before his owner finished working, or else she might get really worried. Suddenly, a car drove by with a loud vroom, and Suki yelped in alarm and ran away on the sidewalk, his fur bristling. After some running, he slowed down and panted. Suki looked back nervously, no sign of a car in sight. He sighed in relief and continued to pad away. But as he continued, his worries started to take over. What if I lost track of where I'm going and I get lost and I'm unable to find my home? What if I get mugged in an alleyway? What if I get killed? He thought nervously.
Tears formed in Suki's eyes. If only his friend Death were with him. He was always able to find a way to comfort Suki when he was scared. Suki stayed put for a few seconds before he heard quick paw steps. Suddenly, something jumped over him. Startled, Suki let out a yelp. He looked back to see the animal that had jumped over him land. It was a cat, a Persian cat to be exact. She had dark ginger fur and amber eyes.
Excuse me, a voice said.
Suki took a paw step aside and watched as a brown tom kitten with a white underbelly and ice blue eyes ran past him. Although he was obviously young, he was quite muscular and big for an adolescent kitten. Sorry about that, ma'am, said a voice. Suki looked to see that it had been the Persian she-cat that had jumped over him who had spoke.
It's all right, just don't do that again, please, mewed Suki shakily.
He then looked away awkwardly.
Also, I'm a Tom, he mewed.
He looked back at the Persian she-cat. She looked absolutely embarrassed. He then looked at the adolescent. He also looked embarrassed. Suki guessed that he had also thought that he was a she-cat. Suki couldn't blame them. He had grown up with a strangely high-pitched voice, so it was hard to tell if he was a Tom or a she-cat. He also looked quite feminine, too. Anyways, I'd run if I were you, said the Persian she-cat. The muscular Tom kitten nodded and then ran off. The Persian she-cat joined him. Anxiety swirled inside of Suki. What did they mean? He turned around just in time to see a gray parent tabby tomcat with gray fur and light gray stripes, along with gold eyes, a grayish and blue-green eyes, and a dark gray parent tabby she-cat with white stripes and amber eyes running in his direction, fierce hostility in her eyes. Suki yelped with fright as the cats got closer and closer, until Jaws grabbed his scruff and threw it forwards. Suki let out a yell of as he flew through the air, but it didn't last long, as he ended up quickly reaching the ground and landing on his paws. Shaken, Suki looked back to see that it was the Persian she-cat who had been his savior. "When I tell you to run, it means that you should run!" she grunted as she began nudging him roughly yet quickly away. Before Suki knew it, he was running. Muscular Tom Kitten was a few inches ahead of him. Suki watched as the Persian she-cat jumped forward and ran a few inches ahead of both him and the muscular Tom Kitten. Suki looked back and fell back a shriek as she saw the hostile cats chasing them from behind. He then looked back at the two cats he was running with.
"Why are they chasing us?" he exclaimed.
"They're not exactly after both you and Daisuke, lad," mewed the Persian she-cat.
"Daisuke? Who's
Daisuke?" asked Suki. "This here's Daisuke," mewed the Persian she-cat as she flicked her bushy tail in the direction of a muscular Tom Kitten. The muscular Tom Kitten named Daisuke smiled at Suki before he looked ahead again. Suki panted as he kept on running. He could still hear the quick paw steps of the hostile cats pursuing the Persian she-cat, him, and Daisuke, which motivated him to still keep on going. Suki turned his attention back to the Persian she-cat while he was still running and asked,
"Why are we doing this then?"
The Persian she-cat sighed. "They're after me," she mewed.
"Why?"
asked Daisuke as he looked at her. The Persian she-cat gulped. Well, but before she could finish her sentence, a voice shouted, "You can't escape!" Suki looked back and screamed as he saw the tabby tomcat had gone closer now. The Russian blue and the tabby she-cat not far behind. The Persian she-cat must have saw this too as she yelled, "God freaking damn it!" Suki was shocked by the foul words she just said, although they were more of just mild swears, but he knew that didn't matter now. They were screwed! Suki looked ahead and ran with them. Suddenly, without warning, the Persian she-cat swiveled around, ran towards the road, and jumped onto the back of the truck. "What are you doing?" Suki gasped. "Less talking, more escaping," the Persian she-cat called. Daisuke jumped onto the back of the truck, landing next to a Persian she-cat. Taking a deep breath, Suki leaped forward and managed to land in it too. Panting, he looked back and saw the hostile cats that stopped running and were now growling at them. While Suki backed away nervously, the Persian she-cat ran to the edge of the back of the truck and taunted, "Ha ha! See ya, suckers!" She then turned around and wriggled her rump at them.
"Maybe don't rub it in,"
whimpered Suki nervously. "Rump dance! Rump dance!" The she-cat laughed as she continued to wriggle her rump.
"Let's not risk it,"
muttered Suki anxiously as he padded towards the Persian she-cat and dragged her back. Eventually, Suki and the others exited the truck and found themselves right in front of a forest. "Whoa," Suki breathed. He had seen forests in those geographic shows that would play on TV back at home. He had never seen one in real life before, though. "Let's go in, shall we?" purred the Persian she-cat. "Heck yeah!" giggled Daisuke as he bounced around.
Are you sure this is safe? We might get lost, and I don't want to lose track of where my home is," stuttered Suki.
"Don't worry, we'll be fine," mewed the Persian cat. And so the three cats padded into the forest. Suki looked at the beautiful trees and the bushy bushes. He couldn't believe that he was in a real-life forest right now. "Hey, we never got to know your name," Daisuke's voice grabbed his attention. He looked at the Persian she-cat and Daisuke.
"My name is Suki,"
he mewed. Kinda snorted. "What?"
What?
asked Suki. "Okay, first you look feminine, then you reveal that you have a feminine name?" laughed the Persian she-cat. Suki's ears drooped and he whimpered. The Persian cat stopped and gazed at him with an apologetic gaze. Daisuke cast her a stern glance, slightly startling her. She then turned her attention back to Suki. "I'm sorry, pal. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings," she mewed. Suki nodded.
"It's okay. You didn't mean it," he mewed.
His eyes then widened.
"Wait, you consider me as a pal?"
he gasped. "Well, yeah, Daisuke too. After all, you both stuck by my side and you're really good cats," purred the Persian she-cat warmly. Suki and Daisuke smiled, but suddenly a voice yelled, "There you three are!" Suki recognized the tabby tomcat's voice immediately. "Run!" Suki screamed and ran off. The Persian she-cat and Daisuke ran by his side. "How the hell did they find us?" the she-cat hissed. Neither Suki nor Daisuke answered. They were both focused on running. Suki quietly whimpered as he heard the menacing, fast steps of the pursuing cats. Suddenly, Suki noticed a log.
"I have a plan," he announced.
He jumped over the log. So did the Persian she-cat and Daisuke did the same.
"On a count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Mitsuki's household cats ran towards them. Push! She then yelled. Then, together, Suki pushed a log with a Persian she-cat and Daisuke. But the cats just jumped over it.
On second thought, keep on running!
Suki screamed. He pulled up and ran with a Persian she-cat and Daisuke again. As they ran, Suki could still hear their enemies chasing them. Suki gulped. He tried to keep on running, but he and the others came to stop when they saw a gorge with water running through nearby. Suki nervously backed away, but when he turned around, he saw the hustle cats getting closer and closer. Until suddenly, a tabby tomcat jumped in front of a Persian she-cat, Suki, and Daisuke defensively. Stop! He ordered. The three cats skated to all in shock. The Tom who had saved them looked exactly like the tabby tomcat that had been chasing them. He was a gray patterned tabby tomcat with gray fur and light gray stripes. The only difference was that he had green eyes instead of gold eyes. Omer, what are you doing? Gasped the tabby tomcat. Brother, we've been over this. I will be the one to handle Kana. And just look at this. Not only have you chased her, but you've also ended up chasing some other innocent cats, spat the identical tabby tomcat named Omer.
Wait, you hear the cops mentioned on the poster?
Gasped Suki as he pointed with a paw at the three cats who had chased them named Omar, Zach, and Maria. Yeah, we are. Did you see the poster? Asked Zach. Daisuke nodded. So I guess you know about the criminal Kana right there, snarled Maria as she glared at a Persian she-cat. Suki stared in shock at her.
You're a criminal?
He gasped in horror. But before Kana could finish her sentence, Daisuke gasped,
You are the criminal Kana on the poster? I thought it was just a coincidence that you looked exactly like her.
Kana looked at Daisuke, her face full of devastation. Daisuke, she started, but Omer interrupted. Kana, I need to talk to you. Kana looked at him. Okay, she started. She padded towards him. So you noticed that there seemed to be some fondness in her eyes as she looked at Omer. Did she like him? Suki couldn't blame her, though. He was pretty good looking. Suki then watched as the two padded away. He still couldn't shake off his shock that he had been running with an actual criminal.